Hi, villains, and welcome to our team sheet tantrum for Villa versus Chelsea. You may have noticed that I'm on my own today at the moment, and Neil will be dipping in shortly. Hopefully, he's up the walls and trying to get all his Christmas visiting sorted out before he can sit and watch Villa today. So we'll go through the comments and we look forward to the team being announced, and hopefully we'll have Neil on for a few minutes around that time. So what have we got? Hello, Ronan. Happy St. Stephen's Day to you, which is what we call it here in Ireland. So, anyone who's watching from the UK, happy Boxing Day. Hope you had a great Christmas and looking forward to a game today because it's going to be another week before we play again, which is unfortunate that we found out today that we are going to cancel the game against Leeds. Bitterly disappointed with that one because I really think we would have put it up to Leeds. They're decimated by injuries and now they've thrown COVID into the effect. So what can you do? We've had our own problems. Our esteemed leader is also out with COVID. I hope that doesn't affect how we line up today. I'm sure everybody is singing off the same hymn sheet, and we will see a lot from the coaching team. I would imagine probably either Mick Beale or Gary Mack in charge from the sideline, but we'll find out in due course. We're about 7 minutes away from finding out what the team is. I know there's a lot of rumours about who had COVID and who didn't. I think it's best if we probably wait and see because I haven't seen anything concrete at all. So, Connor, happy St. Patrick's Day. You're a bit ahead of yourself there, but we get the feeling you might be on the batter over there, and that's probably why you're calling it St. Patrick's Day. So I intend once I'm done here to join you in a few beverages as I sit down and watch Villa for the evening. And Del Boy, hope you're well, mate. With Tuesday's game postponed, it'll be interesting to see if this has changed the team sheet. I don't envisage it has. They've probably been working up to this game all along. They've had their plan in place. They knew who they were going to be starting. They probably would have had maybe a 30-minute practice match with that team yesterday. So it's hard to say. I honestly don't think he would change the team. If you remember when our game was or we had to play the kids against Liverpool, Liverpool didn't change their team. They put out a strong team because that's the team they'd worked on all week, and it didn't make sense to tell people they were playing and then have someone who probably wasn't ready step up. So what can you do? We'll just have to soldier on today and see who we've got available, and I think that's the most important thing for me. Cancelled games have ruined my own momentum following a Villa fan buzzkill. It is a buzzkill, but unfortunately, if you look around the stadiums today, I watched a little bit of West Ham. They are playing in a half-empty London stadium. It is kind of worrying the levels of infection in the UK. So that is obviously what's contributed to the half-empty stadium, unless I missed that they were only allowed to play in front of a half-empty stadium. But I don't think so. It also, I saw a flick through Norwich, Man City, Crystal Palace, pockets of empty seats all over the place. Only to be expected at Villa Park again today as well. I would imagine there's a lot of people mixing and contracting this horrible virus. So we will probably see the effects of that in the stands from the early doors today. Jonathan, I've had COVID since December 23rd. Christmas ruined. Yeah. I hope they cheer you up, Jonathan, because as some of you may know, I've just recovered from it. Well, I'm still recovering from it myself. It's been pretty horrible couple of weeks, and just glad to be getting back to some kind of normality today. So I hope your symptoms aren't too bad and get well soon. Kahuna Gaming, I'm 50-50 on today's lineup. Whilst we obviously want our best team playing, should we give Bidace or Carney a chance of starting? I'd say we might see Carney anyway, depending on who's fit or COVID or whatever. I'm not 50-50. I want us to put out our best team. We're playing one of the best teams in the country, European champions. We want to give them a good rattle and see where we go from there. I think the most important thing is to try and get something out of the game. And I think if we put out a weakened team, we're already on the back foot. So we'll just give a shout out. The guys Dan Lane, how you doing, Dan? Carl is there too. No Emmy Martinez in pre-run out. That's interesting because he was one of the ones that was rumored not to be in the team. Plus, he no Emmy or Martinez. Sorry, you've commented underneath as well. There's no Emmy or McGinn in the run out. Okay, that's interesting. We'll find out in 3 minutes' time what the story is. I know there was some rumours that the guy who sat in his car that Stephen Gerrard was talking about in his interview was Emmy Martinez. So whoever it is, whoever's out, I hope they're okay. Here we go. Evening all, Hookah SC. Hope you have an enjoyable hangover. Yeah, a bit of a hangover this morning here in Dion, Dublin, and Juan Pablo Engel are being called up. God, I hope not. I think the two of them are older than me, so yeah, it's going to be something of a makeshift side, I'd say. It's really worrying with everything that's going on. We know there's no game Tuesday. Hopefully, we've got enough players there to go and just give it a rattle here today, because I think Chelsea are there for the take, and they haven't been playing well in the last couple of weeks. I know they've had problems with COVID, but even pre that, they just weren't firing on all cylinders as they were earlier in the season. I thought they were a really good side. We'll just because I tipped them to win the league this year, because it's just the embarrassment, the riches they have. But Man City seem to be on a roll now as well, so that they're going to take some catching. I know they were 4-0 up at halftime, which is outrageous. Hi Sniff Rat, thanks for tuning in. Here's Connor back again. Oops, hangover is hard today. He did say it was St. Patrick's Day, so don't worry about it. Okay, I don't know what the score is when it came in. You'll have to tell me. It was 4-0 when last I came on. Remote Property Flipper says going to be hard without key players and Gerrard on the sideline. Fingers crossed, Sanson. Fingers crossed, Sanson steps up, but McGinn out. Yeah, could be a huge player for us today. Here's your update. It was 4-0. It's 5-3 now. Obviously, that game is obviously something else. Very interesting. Owen Bradley, 2-1 Villa. I'll hold off till I see the team sheet, but I tell you, I will. I'll snap your hand off for that for sure. Setback to have Gerrard on the sideline. We might miss his presence in the in-game direction he gives to the players. 100%. Yeah, he will be a miss on the sideline. We've got to be on our best from the start, especially against Chelsea. So, these guys have been together for a while now, this coaching ticket, so they will be all, I'm sure, getting stuck into the players and keeping them on their toes. I think Sanson is back. We'll find out very shortly. Hopefully that is the case. Phil, evening to you too. Weird times. It certainly is weird times. It's really strange. Not knowing what way we're going from one day to the next. We don't know how many cases we have today, so we just got to do our best. The team is out. I'm going to try and see if I can do something with it. The good news is, and the big news is, that Emmy Martinez is in the starting 11. Unfortunately, John McGinn isn't. So let me see if I can try and share my screen. I don't know if that is available to me. We call it that one. No, won't let me do it. Okay, let's run through the team. So we've got Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Mings, and Target. Sanson, Louise, and Ramsey. Buendia, Ings, and Watkins. Now, to me, with the exception of McGinn, that's about as strong as we can get. It's, yeah, there was a couple there. I maybe wasn't expecting Buendia, but having the game off in between, he's probably recovered from that knock. Happy birthday to him. It was his birthday yesterday on Christmas Day. So on the bench, Steer, who's obviously recovered as well. Tuanzebe, House, Ira Buganum, Carney, Traore, which is great to see Traore back, and also Trezeguet back, El Ghazi and Davis. This is a really strong team. I'm actually bitterly disappointed that the Chelsea game is off, if this is what we have available. It will be it'll be a really interesting game. Just go through some of your comments on that. Team looks very strong. Yeah. Is it two up top? Don't think so. I think he's probably playing Watkins in that withdrawn position on the left. No McGinn. We haven't heard anything, so we can only assume that it is COVID related. We'll just have to wait and see. Stronger 11 than I was expecting. Hoping Sanson has a cracker game. Do you know what? It's time for him to step up now. This is a big opportunity for Sanson. I think this could be an amazing game for him to really push on. Just bear with me there 1 second. We'll have a look and see if we can get the Chelsea team for you. Chelsea. Okay, they start with Mendy, Shabala, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and James. Kante, Jorginho, Alonso, Mount, Pulisic, and Hudson-Odoi. Another very, very, very strong side. I think this is going to be the game of the day. On the bench, Arrizabalaga, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Sarr, Kovacic, Saul, Barkley, Ziyech, and Lukaku. So there's a huge amount that they can draw from there. That's as close as be damned to a first choice team, with the exception of up top, where he's probably playing. I think it was Pulisic the last day that played in that striker position. So we're going to have a work cut out for us today. They don't seem to have any further issues, be it COVID or injury issues. Lukaku is obviously not back to full strength, or he would have been on the bench, or would have been on the starting 11, I would imagine. But Kante didn't seem fully fit during the week. It's going to be a really interesting battle in midfield, and hopefully we can force them down the outside. It's a big game for Sanson today. I really, really hope he gets his teeth into it. Dermot says strong 11, and hopefully Sanson can. Yeah, we think he can do. We've seen in a short burst in that Chelsea game that he played in the cup game. That he's well capable of putting it up, albeit that Chelsea weren't that a full tilt either. It's sorry, someone was texting me there to say someone went down in the warm up. Maybe that was John McGinn. So I'm sure we'll get news on that in the next hour or so before whoever it is stepping up as first team coach. I presume it'll be either Gary Mack or Mick Beale. Our bench is very strong, in fairness. Steer, Tuanzebe, House, Young Tim, Carney, Bertrand Traore and Trezeguet, El Ghazi and Davis. Traore and Trezeguet are coming back into this team, and it's like two new signings. And I by the way Gerrard speaks about the two of them, they seem to be very, very excited about it. I know we're going to lose one or both to the African Cup of Nations, so if we can get a good month out of them in before then, that would be super. Any more? What we got here? Mark Holmes says, all considering, I'm happy with that squad. Yes, I truly believe that's about as good as we can get, Mark. It is an awful pity that we're out without John McGinn, but we'll just have to see how we go. It's not going to be easy. But can we get something out of it? I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that Chelsea is so strong as well. I snap your hand off at the moment for a draw. It's I can't. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to get Neil back in, get him on there, but he's having struggle with reception. So if we can get him back in, we will. Anything else you want to discuss? I'm not expecting any changes in formation. Will Neil be joining? Neil is currently in a bad area. He's trying to get online there at the moment. Hopefully we'll have him on for a few minutes before we finish. No Ashley Young didn't exactly jump off the page for me either. I know he played those 2 games. Maybe he's carrying a knock. Maybe it's COVID. We just don't know. With the GDPR thing, we probably won't find out either when they come to talk about it. He has been really good for us. Ashley Young, probably his worst game was probably against Norwich. He just struggled to get into the game, but he's been brilliant for us, both as a professional off the pitch and on the pitch. So whatever it is, I wish him a speedy recovery. Anyway, very happy with the bench. There's a lot there that can mix things up. We'll there's not a whole pile I can discuss with you guys on my own. So if you want to throw any comments in there, throw them in and we'll discuss them. Hopefully Neil can get in the next few minutes and we'll have a little bit of a chat about it. We'll just go through the Chelsea side again. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was reports of issues of COVID with them recently, but Mendy, world-class goalkeeper, one of the best in the world. Shabala, probably one of the weaker of the defensive. Thiago Silva is obviously sitting in there at centre half with Rudiger, and James is the other fullback. Kante, Jorginho holding the midfield. Alonso and Mount will do a good deal of the running. Pulisic doesn't seem to be on full tilt with them. And then Hudson-Odoi, who's coming back from fitness. It's very hard to see weaknesses. I know. I'm hoping more than anything else that these guys are not fully fit. It's going to be a really difficult game. And then when you're pulling players like Kovacic, Saul, Barkley, Ziyech, and Lukaku, one of the world's most expensive strikers, sitting on the bench. Let me see. Do you have anything to say? Darren, thanks for joining us. I fancy us with that team today. Yeah, it's hard not to expect something from it. I'm not well. It's hard not to be hopeful to get something from it. I think we're strong enough to go and pull something out of the hat. We'll give it a go and see what happens. Is this his first choice minus McGinn? I'd like to think. There was another comment there. I'll get to it there, just because it's relevant to what you just said. Thoughts on both Ings and Watkins starting? Will they struggle linking up? That we don't know, and that's what probably tells me that's the probably only other change to make us stronger. If there was someone else there to come in that false 10 or whatever you want to call it, a number 10 playing off the left, which was what Watkins will be. It'll be interesting. Hopefully they can get something out of it. Watkins, we can presume, will